Yes. Yeah, it's snowy. It's not. The road conditions aren't good. I don't know how you managed to get here, but welcome. I know. It's crazy. Follow me. Actually, we can have to sit down over there. Do sit down. Okay. Now, so, first of all, why are you here? I'm just asking, why did you come to my mentor? Here, this isn't a joke. I don't feel like you're being genuinely serious with me when I'm asking you that question. Come back down to reality, please, for a second. Why are you here at my mentor? Well, isn't that what people do when they travel to new places? As they go to a hotel, check in, do that whole procedure. Okay. Um, well, um, that'll be fine. I know that I have to see if Daniel is going to see if he can come get your room arranged for you. But that would work. I have to message him and let him know that you've arrived. Until then, you can stay here. And here at this, in this house. And I have to see happen here. Okay, so I'm going to be back. Just hold on for a second, I'll be right back. I won't be down. That's not. Well, unless he comes up here, I don't know what to do. Well, you know, the unfortunate thing is that there are no bedrooms downstairs, and there is only 2 bedrooms upstairs. My parents' room and my room, and that's it. The other room's an office building. Now, that couch over there in the living room, that can be pulled out as a bed to sleep on. But I can tell you that there is a 100% chance that that will not happen, because that has not been, you know, that bed has not been taken out since 2009. And if it does, it will get in the way of stuff and it won't be pretty. This is awkward. This is kind of all, you know, unexpected. I'm not going to go out in the snow to try to receive Daniel. So, if you found a way to get here, I'm sure that you can find a way to get somewhere else. I'm sure you can find a way to get to a hotel and get checked in and do all the things. I mean, you have your stuff with you, don't you? Your clothes and everything. Wow. How did you get here? Why do I get the feeling like when you speak, part of me wants to believe you and the other part of me doesn't? I don't feel like when you're speaking to me, you're genuinely serious. Okay, this isn't a game here, and I hope that you're being honest. Okay. Okay, then that's fine. I have to see what I can do to call around and see if that person will, or somebody will pick you back up again, because, I mean, you're not going to stay overnight here for a couple of reasons. The first being it's impractical. That's the first reason. And the second reason is I'm not going to have somebody who is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde staying with me at this house. Well, well, that's who you are. Haven't you read this story? That classic story, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? One part of it is, he's really responsible. He's good mannered, I guess you could say. He's the normal adult. And then the other part of it is, at night or whatever, he commits crimes and he does bad and he's mysterious and all those kind of things like that. You do know that I'm not going to have you stay here. And now you're trying to be, more well-mannered and more civil, aren't you? You're playing that particular card now. You're playing a switch. You're pulling a switch with me right now. Because you're a dimension, you know me, and all those kind of things, and you don't want to present yourself that way. Okay, here's a big question. How come I am 18 years old and I have not sworn basically my entire life? If I have, it's very rare and it's a couple of times. And I don't, and when I say things, I mean them, and I'm very serious about them. And how come you are, over 30 years old? And you are presenting yourself in one way here, but then you present yourself another way on Instagram. That's what I'm confused about. That's the question I want to ask, because here, I don't think that you would. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't think that you would, start cursing at me all of a sudden. But then I'm confused why you're presenting yourself in this way here, but then you throw F-bombs around and you curse like a sailor on Instagram. That's the big question. That's what I'm confused about, because I was watching over a live stream the other day that was over an hour, and you were throwing F-bombs around, and then how come I'm seeing that in square or opposition to something that you, yeah, okay, lecture that you did on astrology compatibility for Stormy Grace's YouTube Academy. That's what I'm confused about, because both of those are public. You're presenting on somebody else's channel, that's public, but your Instagram is also public. So people are going to be confused which version of you they're getting, and I personally know which version that I would like to see, and I hope that this version of yourself that you're presenting is the real version of you, because that's what I'm confused about. Is this who you are, or are you some now I said I don't swear, but here's the deal. There's a YouTube channel, and this is what it's called. It's called Wise Ass Astrology. That's what it's called. He, I mean, he curses and all this kind of things like that. I think that you'd get along great with him because you just have kind of a similar sense. You're kind of quirky, yet wise, and have meaningful, profound things to say. Now, you know, here's the thing. You have an idea that you are in your own little world, and you think that you're so sophisticated and elegant and up there, so I can start swearing and throwing F-bombs around. Well, guess what? That is not sophisticated or elegant or reverent or acceptable at any dimension. And that's the very truth. Well, if that were the case, then why would there be bans over curse words? When, like, it's not right, but people do it anyway. Now, yeah, eating sugar is, you know, not healthy. Drinking, all those kind of things. But I think my point is it's public. It's out there. If you do you know, private live stream or something, and yeah, you can, you know, curse. Nobody's gonna see it, but you're putting it out there, and you do have a big following, and you're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna be turned off by that. I don't know. You know, you know, I think age as a number, yes. However, I also think that it can be just the reverse, that you can have somebody younger, but then maybe wiser, maybe more grounded, I guess you can say. Well, I have a hard time believing that. you have an idea in your mind that you can say whatever you please because of the massive following that you have. You can do whatever you want to because of the massive following you have. Now, there's a movie that I was seeing. It was about someone like you on Instagram, really popular, and she made a lot of rash decisions. She was difficult to work with. She spent all of her money. She was not humble, not appreciative of other people and what they were giving to her. And she had a bit, the attitude, mental, frame of mind, mental mindset, that she had the attitude that she was really popular. And so she was entitled. She was so entitled. And she thought that she was so entitled to do these unethical, wrong kind of things. And I believe, and it comes across as if you are entitled. And what's really confusing is you are this way, and yet what do you talk about? You give all these intelligent, have so much information. You have a lot of gifts and a lot of, information to give that's really nuanced. And I watched you going, wow, I never thought about it like that. That's a new angle. Or, wow, that was insightful. Or, that was something I didn't know. And you're, very book smart. You sort of pull, one thing from over here, another thing from over there. It's really nice how you tie all these things in. And it's not just, this is what's going on, this is what the sign means, but you're sort of, that's great. But the only thing wrong with all that is that it is distorted and it's unfiltered. Like when you're making like a stock, chicken stock, you boil the the vegetables and all those kind of things like that. You prepare it, and then you take the solids, and then you have a strainer. You put the solids through the strainer, and then the liquid is left. Just like, for example, I don't like orange juice with a whole lot of pulp in it. It's just, I don't like impure liquids to drink. It's just, yeah. So you need to sort of strain out the pulp and then leave behind the liquid. So just like you do that, you can strain and filter what you say to leave the wisdom, the knowledge, the good, insightful aspects of you that are, they're really entertaining, that are very stimulating. All the, I don't want to say this in a stereotypical way, all the Geminian qualities that are not, I'm saying this based off of you. I'm not associating this with other people. All the Geminian qualities of yourself that are positive, but not the negatives. Now, I'm sure that you know that the sign is also, you know, you know, I, I mean, I don't want to sit here and look at you and say, this person's wise, knowledgeable, all this kind of things, but then he is an airhead. I mean, I don't want to sit here and say that. I certainly don't want to sit here and say this person's an airhead who swears, who throws F-bombs around like it's no big deal. And there's desensitization now. I mean, if I were to say that's not a big deal, well, yes, but, well, I don't know. I guess I am more knowledgeable, and I guess I have healthier boundaries. Like, isn't there something there? And you know, and you know, knowing you, I don't agree with this. But I have to throw this in there, though. That.
We're gonna eat in about
Okay.
15 minutes.
Okay. I have to throw this in there. There's something about swearing and having, like, little or low intelligence. You know, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I mean, there are very intelligent people, very well educated people like yourself who do swear. So, why isn't it official that swearing is altogether not an It's not a big deal. It's just the norm. And yet, you know, yeah, here you are, and you even said it yourself. You know, here you are. It's somebody famous with a huge following who has so much to give, as you know, somebody who's very spiritual and all this kind of thing. And yet you just swear, and you don't swear, every now and then. It is built into your, language that, that is just common. And I think that that's not okay. That's not okay. So, I'm not going to ask you, I'm not going to ask a whole lot of you. In fact, I'm not going to even insist that you change whatever you're doing. But I'm going to say, well, maybe you can begin to reevaluate how you present yourself and what you say. Here's what's interesting. This is what's interesting to me. I was looking at your natal chart, and you know this better than I know it. You were born under Mercury retrograde in Gemini. And that means you're reviewing you're going internal, so you're more sort of conscious and aware of what you're saying. Is that correct? Yeah. That's the, I can tell you that that's right. And there's more to it. But anyway, I mean, I can find that maybe another layer, disbelief, astrologically, if you review and you're more sort of subconsciously attuned to that would be another layer aspect of it, of why you would swear. As if it's no problem, there's nothing wrong with it. Because there is. There's a lot wrong with it. Don't associate it with nuanced sophistication and what intelligent people do if they have something profound to say. I don't care how strongly, and I don't think that your audience is going to care how strongly you feel about the points that you want to make. You need to dial it back and turn it down, and just choose better words that don't have just don't have all the extra unneeded, unnecessary swear words. Because they're not needed, they sort of interfere with the messages that you're saying in the first place. Probably would be more enjoyable, and your audience would get more out of what you're saying if you don't have the swear words. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to turn into somebody controversial and somebody, people, look at, oh, this person swears, this thing, I don't like this person. And I don't want to play this card, because I don't like it. But I'm just suggesting that maybe one day you'd find that the number of followers would just go down, and then you would wonder why. I'm just throwing that out there. Just because. I don't want to lecture. I don't want to preach and do all this kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to avoid doing. But I don't know if I know who you are. And I want to see one version of yourself. One version. Somebody who, now you may be older, but I am metaphorically older. No. I've said it too much. I do not want to be confused about who I'm seeing. I want to see one consistent version of who you are, not somebody who is Dr. Jekyll in one situation, like you are here, and then Dr. Hyde in another situation. But it sounds like you're siding with Dr. Hyde. It sounds like you're siding with, or Mr. Hyde. It sounds like you're siding with the devil. I don't want to see one version and then I'm getting confused and that doesn't line up with another version of you who swears and does all those kind of things, and you put on a facade and you play a card and you pull a switch and you be this intelligent kind of person. And then when you're on Instagram, use things that you can say whatever you want to say. That's fine. Well, there are no police or whatever. However, I would be careful. It may come back to bite you. Who knows? But I don't think that is for your highest good. And that kind of duality, which is inherent in, Gemini, of one twin doing this, another thing doing that. I think that you're kind of embodying the low road of Gemini. And you're fitting into the negative stereotypes of Gemini. And I'm saying that because I mean it. I don't say something, I say things, but I mean that. And that's disappointing. Especially as somebody who I was considering to come here at the invention one time, that's really disappointing. This is not about that right now. This is disappointing. And you're not going to stay here overnight. For several reasons, but that's a big one. That matters. Now, I'm disappointed. And I'm kind of shocked. You're really digging yourself a hole and selling yourself short, and I would turn a little bit of awareness on. And I'm sure that you've spoken about awareness before, but that's something that I don't think that you're as aware, or you are, but you just don't choose to make the right choices and make smart choices. That's really, that's sad, ridiculous, unbelievable. Yeah, that's not fortunate. Disappointing. Not good. Not acceptable. So, if you're going to be here at my invention, then you need to find one version of who you are that is not somebody who curses like a sailor. You need to be who you are without that unintelligent version of who you are. If I didn't know who you were ahead of time before watching that live stream, I would just say this is just some person who is just curses and you all that. And you're not dumb. And swearing does not make you appear and advance you, and doesn't make you more intelligent. Maybe, I'm just assuming, maybe you have this idea that that you can say it because you're, so intelligent, makes you sound good, it makes you sound, purposeful, meaningful, all this kind of things. It doesn't. It doesn't. So if you have that idea, I would let that go before you have karma and retribution coming back to bite you and haunt you. Before you realize the consequences of your actions. And then regret it all. A lot of it anyway. I'm telling you this because, I like you and I want to invite you here, but I will not do that. Anytime soon, for that matter. And you will not be staying at this, actually. I take that back. So, you will stay here. After dinner, I will call around and I will have somebody collect you or pick you up and you can go somewhere else. I don't care where you go, I don't care what you do, but you're not going to stay here. You're not going to stay at my Mountain. You would not even stay at the Queen of England's palace. And there's no way, if you think that you can go to Julia Escarosa Minton, there is no way that she would allow you to step on the doorstep. You would not even get the foot past the door. Because it's all there. And we have data and we can see people's social media, we can see what they say and we can see what they do, and we determine who stays and who cannot stay at whichever Minton. And then we have to find something to do with the people who decide to be an idiot and do all these kind of things and say all these kind of things and choose to talk trash and sell themselves short and make bad choices. So, no. I mean, you're going to stay here over dinner. That's, clear. Let's get that straight. But you're not staying at my Minton. I'm not going to have it. Until you can shape up. You're not going to stay at my Minton. So, over there, you walk down there, you'll find the cafeteria, dining hall, you can go there, have dinner, and then I will call, and then I will go out there, and then I will let you know that that person's here to pick you up and you can go after dinner. So that's going to be how it's going to be. So I'm going to go have dinner and bye for now. Okay.